Welcome to Module 6 of the Six Sigma Institute's Lean Six Sigma Certification Curriculum, which follows both the Council for Six Sigma Certification and International Association for Six Sigma Certification's body of knowledge. A full copy of the Council for Six Sigma Certification's Book of Knowledge can be downloaded from the course description section for free. In this module, we will be discussing how to approach the problem. This module will take approximately 30 minutes to complete. At the end of this module, there will be a 5-question quiz on the topics discussed, which you can complete on your own time. You will also find several Six Sigma tools you can download, including a 5 Whys template and a scatter diagram template, both of which are Excel files. Because Six Sigma approaches things with a statistical mindset, it considers all problems as a function. The y equals fx statement can be used in 2 ways. First, it is a general map for stating a problem. Y, the problem, occurs because of some x, input or cause, is occurring. In reality, though, y is usually occurring because of some group of causes or inputs, which means there are going to be more than one x inputs. The idea can also be applied to specific processes and outcomes within the problem. As you get more and more granular, the y equals fx concept becomes increasingly mathematical. In many cases, you can graph the relationship between the output of y and the input of x. The 5 Whys is a brainstorming tool developed by Toyota and used in Lean to find the root cause for process issues. In this section, we are going to discuss when to use 5 Whys brainstorming method and how to actually conduct it. Data analysis is one of the best ways to validate a y equals fx assumption. But teams who are familiar with processes can often arrive at some basic relationships through a process known as the 5 Whys. This is a brainstorming tool that asks increasingly granular why questions about a problem or process, seeking to understand the root cause or actual problem. The 5 Whys can be used to define a problem or to begin seeking causes. Teams may use the 5 Whys as a way of addressing a problem with customer satisfaction that was discovered through a series of feedback forms. One of the benefits of 5 Whys is that it only costs your team a small amount of time to use. A team familiar with a process can conduct a complete 5 Whys session in less than an hour if a moderator keeps things on task. Because of its simplicity, the 5 Whys tool can be used for almost any problem. Use it to address a problem team members bring up, to address a problem a supervisor notices, or to address the vague feeling that there is a problem when no one has been able to define what is actually wrong. At the very least, a 5 Whys session facilitates communication and thought. In a Six Sigma project environment, 5 Whys is usually deployed when processes involve human interaction or people-powered inputs, though it can be an effective start to brainstorming on any process. Since a 5 Whys session is usually based on input from subject matter experts, gather people who are close to the process. On a whiteboard or web conference screen, display a basic problem statement as you understand it. The problem statement is not going to be a detailed one. We start with fairly general statements that simply say something about the defects or dissatisfaction. Begin by asking the highest level why question possible about the statement and write this question down. The team works together to provide a high-level answer to the question and writes the answer directly under the first question. The team then creates the highest level why question it can about the new answer. They continue doing this until they discover the root cause. It may take 5 Whys, it may take less, or it might even take more. But as a general rule of thumb, the root cause will be discovered usually within the first 5 whys asked. A Six Sigma improvement project starts with a strong problem statement that functions like an elevator pitch. In this section, we will discuss the problem statement, the core of every Six Sigma initiative. We will talk about the basic information needed in the statement, as well as what makes a problem statement weak or strong. We will touch on objective statements and scope creep. A Six Sigma improvement project usually starts with a formal project statement. This is different from the basic statements used to launch a 5 why session. A strong problem statement is similar to a 30-second elevator pitch, which executives and salespeople across the globe use in order to hook clients or business investors on an idea. The problem statement, like that pitch, provides enough information that a busy executive can understand what the issue is and why there's a need for an improvement effort. In order to create a strong problem statement, there are some basic pieces of information that we will need to include within the statement itself. We need to declare where and when the problem was recorded or was occurring, what the measurement of magnitude for the problem was, preferably with some ties to cost, and a brief description of the problem that could be understood by professionals that are not closely aligned with the process. Try to avoid too many niche words or acronyms if you will be presenting information to non-niche professionals. You should also include a brief notation about the metric used to measure or describe the problem. In the first quarter, the California Distribution Center sent 108,000 packages. Of those packages, 15,000 were returned, resulting in a 13.8% return rate. The rate of return is above the accepted 7% rate and cost the company an additional $372,000 for the quarter. Over the course of the year, the current process could result in an additional cost of over $1.4 million. This statement tells us that the issue occurred in the first quarter of the year and states that it was related to the returns at the California Distribution Center. It defined how many used both the amount and percentage, and even outlines the magnitude of $1.4 million. It does not talk about any possible solutions or even provide too many details about the problem. It is just enough to grab the attention of leadership and make them want to know more. The Canton, Ohio bakery is producing undercooked bread. Customer dissatisfaction with the bread is resulting in returns and bad word of mouth. The bread is supposed to be baked at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. This statement is weak because it does not provide any details about when it occurred, how it was measured, and what the magnitude was. We should rephrase the statement to say, in November and December of 2014, customer satisfaction complaints were traced back to bread baked in the Canton, Ohio facility. The facility produced 300,000 loaves during that time period and received 50,000 complaints of bread being undercooked. Bread returns and loss of sales related to the quality are estimated to be $125,000 per month. When you first start writing problem statements, it is sometimes harder than you might expect to get all of the information into a couple of sentences. To avoid leaving out information, it helps to use a list and to consider yourself a problem statement journalist. When journalists write a report, they are looking to answer some specific questions. What happened? Who did it happen to? When did it happen? Why does the audience care? The same is true when you are writing a problem statement. Follow the problem statement checklist and ask, where did the problem occur? When did the problem occur? What process did the problem involve? How is the problem measured? And how much is the problem costing in money, time, customer satisfaction, or other critical metric? Another way you can tell that you have a strong problem statement is that you can create an overall project objective statement or goal directly from the problem statement. Specific problems and objective statements are critical to Six Sigma project success for several reasons. First, being as specific as possible sets up appropriate expectations. Secondly, not being specific enough sets you up for failure. Creating strong problem statements lays a stable foundation for the rest of your project, gives the team a beacon when they get overwhelmed with information, and reduces the chances of scope creep and misunderstanding. Scope is the definition of what is included and what is not included in a process or improvement project. You begin defining scope with your problem statement. The information that you include in the statement gives clues to what you will be working on, and the goal statement provides appropriate limits on the work to be done. Six Sigma projects are not everlasting initiatives, though the culture of improvement that comes from Six Sigma is. This means your individual project needs a specific, challenging, but attainable goal. Once that goal is met, the project is concluded and you begin looking for a new problem to improve upon. Scope creep occurs when teams look to make infinite perfections on a process, attempt to reach unrealistic goals, or begin to reach for process or problems that are outside of the original scope. It takes discipline and organization to address only that which is in scope for a project. Understanding the relationship between problems and inputs and knowing how to create strong problem statements are the first steps to controlling an improvement process.